Alright, now I got that all set up. Let me dish out that link. There you go. Alright, guys. My name is Trups LP, and I'm here with CountDibbula. How you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Got done with work and well, half of my job I feel like I spend too much time sitting and looking on Facebook.
I spend way too much time on Twitter at work, so I don't feel bad.
Yeah, so I feel as if this stream actually technically wouldn't have even happened if if I didn't have this terrible inclination to always be arguing on Facebook. And it just so happened that I saw that picture, which was the Twitter like post that was superimposed, and essentially it looked as if all of my friends from a certain friend group just kind of lost their collective shit for a moment
Uh,
because uh basically there were about 40 comments before I had even gotten to it, and the post had maybe been up for about 20 minutes or so.
and they were all on one side, right, weren't they?
Yeah, well, okay, so the post actually read here. Let me pull it up so that I can read it off properly.
All right.
It was this last weekend, Nazis marched in Noonan, Georgia. Nazis, proud, unashamed, out in the open, unafraid to show their faces. When Nazis aren't afraid to walk down the streets of America and black Americans are, well, you'd better wake up and hear the fucking alarm.
Uh-huh.
By a guy named Stone Kettle.
Okay, so first question for Stone Kettle, has he never heard of Black Lives Matter? Because I'm pretty sure they march down the street all the time.
Well, I guess the argument would then be that Black Lives Matter is treated differently than apparently how these Nazis apparently were treated. You know, all
Well, yeah,
20 of them.
because the Black Lives Matter people are bashing up police cars and setting shit on fire.
Well, so were the Eagles fans in Philadelphia.
That's good. Good point. Good point.
But let me let's pull up this video from Time, detailing it in all of its scary scariness.
All right, go ahead.
All right, here we go.
Anybody wants personal pictures and stuff Where's my son-in-law? Where's my son-in-law? Everybody else that does not have a torch, come up.
Oh no, they have fire.
Yeah, they've got fire, and also this one here, this one's really bad in Time. She's not so good.
Whoa. They said, "See, Kyle, I am terrified."
Yeah, this woman here, the one in front. Oh man, like she can't be in Time at all. Oh no.
Scary.
So honestly, before today, I actually didn't know that America had its own nationalist socialist movement.
Oh yeah, yeah. They've been around for, well, basically since the Nazis.
You would have thought they would have made more of an impact and any time before this weekend. Especially because, well, oh God, there was an article I read earlier where it basically said that they gathered to celebrate Adolf Hitler's birthday.
Uh, Yeah, I think they do that every year or something.
Yeah, but that's the scary part. Oh my God, it's every year.
Yeah, but this year's totally different.
Oh, well, apparently.
Yeah, we have reasons.
Yes, because reasons. Well, it is current year.
That's true.
All right, let's keep going.
It was made up of roughly 2,000. Holy shit! That's like an army of 24 people.
What is it?
24 there's 24 people. What an army!
Oh,
Holy crap! They're just gonna run over the whole United States.
Oh, I mean that. Man, you realize that if anybody just says the words "I'm a white supremacist," just everyone loses their goddamn minds.
Yeah.
I mean,
Why? Why? I mean, look at these people. There's more cops there than there are fucking white supremacists.
I love this guy right in the middle. Like the comb over with the mountain man beard. It screams Aryan.
What, is he supposed to be carrying a Roman shield? Is that what?
Oh, I don't know. Oh Jesus! I'm just looking at like just this collection.
Frankly, this looks like a costume party to me.
It does. Okay, and with the rune on the flag, that doesn't help.
Yeah, what was the swastika? So yesterday or something, they had to get a new symbol.
Well, yeah, apparently, but okay. So the biggest question is, obviously, this blue field, right, doesn't have 50 stars in it. So what do these stars symbolize?
Yeah, how many are there actually? Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 13. I'm guessing that's for the southern states, the Confederacy, maybe.
Or the colonies, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, one or the other.
Because they were totally relevant during the Nazi era.
Oh yeah, they were running all over during the Civil War, weren't
Yep, just the colonists and their muskets. All right, let's keep going.
All right.
Oh, the deadly Unite the Right rally, by the way. Oh. You gotta put up Charlottesville, always. Talking about white supremacy. Met with about 100 counter-protesters. Damn, they outnumbered them about 4-1.
Yeah, and that they don't say it here, but there were 700 police officers from 42 agencies.
Jesus.
Oh, I think they're slightly outnumbered by the same people.
That might be a little overkill. Oh yeah, here it is. Anti-fascist group Antifa and roughly 700 law enforcement officers. So there were more police than all protesters combined.
Yeah.
Every state legislator, as well as numerous county and state officials, condemned the rally before it even started. But this has been happening every year.
Yeah. Well, like I said, this year's different.
Yeah, but they ran for this county, and like they like knew this happened, and they were like, I really want to represent this place. They seem like a whole, good bit of people, or at least if I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt, then they wanted to try and fix it. And if they wanted to try and fix it, oh no, they didn't do a good job.
Well, I looked it up, and what is this, Newman or whatever the name of the town is?
Yeah, Noonan.
Yeah, I looked it up, and it's a population of like 38,000 or something. So you've got 24 white supremacists out of 38,000 people. That's nothing.
Yeah, but it made waves internationally.
Yeah, because the media wants it to. Look, this is the big scary boogeyman you want us all to be afraid of? Give me a fucking break.
Yeah. Alright, we got like a little bit left of this video, and then I want to tell you about... Oh, it's just over. Okay, cool.
Alright, cool.
So I didn't know exactly how this actually happened or any of the context until I got home from work and I actually looked it up. And when I tell you that the argument that I had gotten onto into on Facebook, it got crazy heated, and it was all under the idea that, well, do these guys have the right to do that?
Well, of course they do. Why wouldn't they?
Well, because according to those who like to argue with me, it's because they espouse hatred. They don't deserve, the platform.
So they're basically, this is the hate speech thing. Hate speech overrides free speech is what they're getting at.
Yep, and in this case, it goes more than just free speech. It's all aspects of the First Amendment, including freedom of assembly, freedom of their own publication of the press.
You know what happens when you don't let these fucking morons have their little rally?
No,
they get more. They get more followers because people don't understand how fucking stupid they are.
Well, that, and plus with with making such a big deal out of it like this, right? You basically draw attention to these guys, so much so that now, people may actually want to do something about it, or they may identify with these guys. I feel like they're making it worse.
You're making people curious about what they have to say, whereas if you just let them speak, then we hear what they have to say, and then we ignore them.
Right.
When I was a kid, where I grew up, there was a Klan rally at the courthouse every year. And every year, I remember, it just got smaller and smaller and smaller. Because no one Klan rally at the courthouse every year. They were fucking lunatics. We just ignored them. Now they don't even have their rally there anymore. That's how you get rid of these guys.
You just ignore them?
You ignore them because they're stupid.
Yeah, well, eventually they'll piss off. Because honestly, once the numbers start dwindling and less people have exposure to these people, then they stop. Because no one's joining them, they're not gaining any funding, they're not getting an audience.
Why are they having this rally? Because they want attention, that's why.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only reason they're having this rally. They know it pisses people off, and they get free attention for it. They're having this rally because they want attention, that's why. And yeah, they're going to get some followers from the other monumentally retarded people who follow them, but no one with 2 functioning brain cells is going to follow this crap.
Well, that's not what other people think, and I have that one other video here.
Oh, there's no... Right.
Yeah, so this one's from USA Today, and they have their own thoughts on this whole thing. Yep.
All right.
So let's get this glorious thing. Now, this one does have some commentary, so I'll have to stop it a little bit more frequently.
Okay.
All
right. We are the National Socialist Movement and the Nationalist Front.
It was a controversial and fiery morning in Noonan as about 36 neo-Nazis met up with more than hundreds of counter-protesters that need.
So this one's apparently 36 Nazis. We're really up in the ante here.
Ooh.
Let's see.
Neo-Nazi rally has been stirring up controversy in the small measure.
Tripled their number. Or what? No, that's 33% more.
Hey man, they're gaining followers by the second.
Yeah, apparently.
Through Atlanta City ever since the group applied for a permit to hold that rally several weeks ago. And today, during the rally, the majority of business owners in downtown.
Yo, look at this Santa-looking motherfucker. He's coming into frame after the Roman shield. Oh my god. Oh my god. And he's just out there. He's like, yeah, man, I'm here with my Nazi brothers. It looks like edgy Santa's brother.
It does. It does.
And then the bald dude in the back's just like, I don't know why I'm here. I'm actually here just with the guy in front of me.
I was just getting in my steps, dude, and these guys were going the same way.
Oh, damn.
Noonan shut their doors as members of the...
This guy even looks even better. He's got an SS... Yeah. He's got an SS collar on.
Oh, that...
I want mention something, by the way. I've noticed with these white supremacist groups, they always look like the most disheveled human beings on the face of the earth.
Yeah, would it kill them to take a shower or something?
Or comb their hair, or in this case,
comb your hair.
tuck in your goddamn shirt.
Yeah, look, if you're trying to look like a Nazi soldier, I'm pretty sure they weren't that disheveled.
No, and honestly, that would be an offense to them.
Yeah.
By wearing the uniform that poorly?
Well, did they even have, like, I mean, that looks like a monk's uniform or something with a collar.
I feel like like, the shirt looks like Scrubs. And then he just, like, sewed on the SS collar and picked up the flag, like, hi guys, I'm here.
Yeah, maybe that's their new uniform, Scrubs.
Oh, jeez. The doctors are coming.
The National Socialist Movement, along with hundreds of counter-protesters, moved into town.
All the people that contacted us from the city and from the...
I didn't see his flag. What is he waving there? I didn't even see it.
Oh, it's the rune flag.
Oh, okay. I see it now.
surrounding areas, be able to get in touch with us. We'll follow up, we'll recruit them, and bring them onto our side.
I bet they didn't even see that.
What? The love not hate?
Yeah, right underneath them while they're standing up there preaching their hate.
Yeah, they're just like standing there like love not hate written in chalk. They're standing there with flags like Wait a second. What is this? What am I seeing?
Counter-demonstrators came here to downtown Noonan to send a personal message.
The woman in the front holding the flag kind of threw me for a loop there, because.
Well, look at the crowd behind her.
Yeah, hang on. We're gonna go back to this real quick. Okay, so what do we got here?
Yeah, I was looking at the crowd. Look, yeah, not past him. Yeah, look, see, there are more fucking reporters than there are of these stupid Nazis.
Oh yeah, you see him over to the left there, and just all the people with cameras.
Yeah, it's like, the media was ready for a throwdown or something, and now they're fucking pissed off.
Well, I feel like everyone was waiting for another Charlottesville, and now they didn't get it, so now they have to drum it up like it's Charlottesville.
Yeah, like I said earlier, a quick Google search, every news agency's covering this like it was some big event or something.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a fucking dinner party, for God's sakes. That's all it is.
Yeah, honestly, and it's in Georgia, so I mean, like, it's about the same size as a dinner party, so.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to backyard barbecues that were bigger than this.
Did you fly flags like this?
No, don't do that.
All right, let's keep going.
Counter-demonstrators came here to downtown Noonan to send a personal message to the representatives of the National Socialist Movement, the neo-Nazis who were rallying in the park. And they got their chance.
And they got their chance, he says. It sounds so sinister.
Yeah, how dramatic.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then there's like the cop totally not doing his job in the back.
Yeah, what is he doing? Like
he was messing with his vest, just chatting with this dude on the corner.
Yeah, donut shop's 2 blocks to the right.
Oh yeah, it's over there. Oh man, I've been there every day, don't you know? Also, this reporter looks like he's about to fall over.
Yeah, of boredom.
Oh no.
Shame on you! Shame on you!
I love the shame on you chants.
Shame on you!
This is why they were here, for this moment, just after 4 o'clock, when the neo-Nazis showed up and the protesters shouted their condemnation.
Shame on you.
The two groups separated from each other by about the...
What a brilliant message.
Oh yeah, I mean, just look at these counter protesters are just as good as the actual neo-Nazis. Look at this collection of fine individuals.
Did that guy bring his pillow? Is that what he's holding?
Where? No, I think.
It's that's your. Oh, okay. What the fuck? You camping out or something?
Yeah, but oh my god, he looks so skinny. And the guy right behind the woman, he's just staring, like contemplating the meaning of life.
Yeah.
I love it.
Length of a football field.
They're a little more energized than the Nazis.
And barricades, and dozens of Georgia State troopers in riot gear. Protesters could barely see the neo-Nazis. They sure couldn't hear them. But
they say that protesters could hardly see the neo-Nazis. Yeah, because there's only 36 of them. But apparently the neo-Nazis could hear them.
Neo-Nazis couldn't help but hear the protesters.
Probably hard to see those.
I just think
hundreds of neo-Nazis behind the thousands of police officers.
Yeah, and then you've got this girl and the ever nodding boyfriend.
Yeah. Apparently that guy had nothing intelligent to add.
No, nothing whatsoever. Just watch this little altercation.
It's not right. That's why we're not out here violently. We're not out here mad at anyone. I think we're just standing up for those that are being hated on.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We just want to show that we will not allow hate in Noonan or Coweta abroad, or we will not allow hate anywhere. We just want to show that.
Now I gotta give this guy credit. So this guy is much better dressed than the Nazis.
Yeah.
He's got a clean haircut. He's got a clean beard. I mean, okay, it's not my style, but like, you know, it's actually linear. Everything's good. That's how you, in my opinion, that's how you counter protest. You know, crazy.
Well, I don't know that I'd put on a suit just to go to a fucking protest, but you know, whatever you do, you do.
Yeah, I mean, it could be worse, I guess.
Our people are united all across the board.
And again, about 10 protesters were arrested a few
Yeah,
weeks
I actually
ago.
don't know
Police
who he
Chief of
is.
Noonan, Buster Meadows, said,
I
am very relieved there were no...
Now they just said that they did arrest 10 protesters.
Yeah.
Okay. Based on the article that I had read beforehand, before we had started this stream, and I'm gonna pull it up again because I want to make sure. Yeah, this is from CBS News. And it says at least 10 counter-protesters were arrested Saturday. Yeah. Counter-protesters. So, not the neo-Nazis.
Well, you know, if they'd arrested 10 neo-Nazis, that was all of them. So.
No injuries on
does it say what they were arrested for?
No, it did not. But I'm sure we could find a video as to any altercations. With the amount of media and cops there, I'm sure somebody caught it on film.
Yeah, hopefully.
I mean, just look at the amount of cops that are just in this frame.
Yeah, and they look bored as shit.
Yeah, well, they're sitting around talking. They're shooting the shit with one another.
He called it uneventful.
Hey,
one side had
its
say, the other side had its say, and then everybody just
that's
went
right.
home.
All right, so that's that video. But you know, you see all these people start reporting on this, right? You know, if I look up neo-Nazi, that's not how you spell that. Georgia. You know, I see CBS, Newsweek, CBS Again, Time, USA Today, Mike.com, Red State, again USA. What the hell's with USA Today?
Yeah, I've got Boston Globe, New York Times.
Yeah, Huffington Post, Al Jazeera, Daily Mail.
Yeah, everybody wanted this to be a big deal, and it's so not.
Oh, this has got to be a great one. Neo-Nazi rally near Atlanta remains mostly peaceful, officials say, from Fox. Thanks, Fox.
Well, you heard that reporter at the end there. He's like, you know, and then at the end, everybody went home.
Yeah.
Like he was so disappointed.
Well, even some of these articles are trying to paint it as, you know, remember, guys, this is kind of like that Charlottesville rally, because even in this the CBS article, I'll throw it down in the description afterwards. It says, in August, a white nationalist rally in Charlottesville, Virginia, devolved into violence. Heather Hare, 32, was killed when a vehicle slammed into counter-protesters. 19 people were hospitalized. The driver, James Alex Fields Jr., was charged with second-degree murder. This story is developing. Check back for updates about the 10 people who were arrested. Like, this is a non-related issue Why are you making a big... Wait, why?
Well, we have to tie it back to the thing that actually happened because nothing happened here.
Did you actually hear about it originally, that Heather Heyer had actually died of a heart attack?
I heard that somewhere, but I don't know if it's true or not.
Yeah.
I don't remember where I heard it, so I don't remember if it was a reliable source or not.
Well, okay, so it was her parents apparently who had claimed it was.
She died.
Actually, here I've got a link for this actually.
I mean, the thing is, at this point, it doesn't really matter. She's gone down as the martyr of Charlottesville anyway, so it doesn't really matter anymore.
Oh, fuck off, Mercedes. All right, so yeah, this was Heather Heyer's parents afterwards.
She died pretty instantly. She didn't suffer. She died of a heart attack right away at the scene. They revived her briefly, and then not consciously, just got her heart beating again, and then her heart just stopped. So I don't feel like she suffered.
Like that's kind of like a damning piece of evidence right there. I'm surprised no one ever mentioned it.
Well, I mean, I gather what she's trying to say there is cardiac arrest, which
okay, that's fair.
I mean, I don't know if you get hit by a car, maybe your heart stops. I'm not a doctor. I have no idea, but
likely eventually, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're saying they gave her CPR, started beating again for a while, and then she died again. So I assume she must have had some sort of internal injuries or something.
Yeah, that's possible. I couldn't say, but I believe it was the autopsy report that had originally called it cardiac arrest and heart attack. And then, eventually that eventually did change, that they found internal, probably, I'm guessing. Hell if I know.
Well, there's the thing with a coroner's report. When they give cause of death, they're not going to get, like, a car did this and then caused this and that. No, they just go for the thing. Her heart stopped, it's cardiac arrest, that's the cause of death.
Right. Now, you kept up with...
it's up to detectives and the police force to get to the how.
Now you kept up with the CountDibbula thing, right?
Yeah, sort of. I mean, I didn't catch everything, but
also your name and his name, any relation?
No. Actually, my name was a nickname younger when I was a teenager. Some of my friends gave me this nickname.
Oh, okay.
I just stuck with it.
That's fair enough. It was so similar that I was like, this is odd.
I've actually ever since the Dankula thing came up, I've gotten tweets directed to me that were obviously meant for him.
Oh, that's got to be fun.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure you meant the other guy.
Yeah, that's. Oh my god, that. You should just entertain it at that point. And then just tag him in it. Just be like, yeah, that.
Yeah.
No, you could make plenty of people very upset with you after that. Probably Dankula will be one of them. Probably not a good idea after all.
You know what? I don't know how they could possibly. This we're nothing alike.
Yeah, no, for real. But no, this whole thing just has gotten so many people riled up and pissed off. Like, obviously, this Facebook image that even spurned this whole thing on, it's been getting passed around like a lot.
You know what? It's because the left doesn't want them to speak, and that's the whole problem. Let them speak. Did you watch the Richard Spencer debate with Sargon?
Which one?
I didn't know they had more than one.
Well, there was one. There was one on the Kumite.
Oh no, not that one. No.
Okay, so not that one. All right. So yes, then in that case, yes, I did.
I think it was Andy Worski's channel.
Oh, okay. Then yes. Then well, yes. Continue.
Yeah. Okay. So, all the people on the Christy Winters crowd were basically ragging on Andy for letting Richard Spencer speak, but honestly, Richard Spencer did more damage to himself than anybody else.
Now the alt-right won't say that. The alt-right will defend Richard Spencer to the death on that one. They have some choice words.
Yeah, I know, and that's because they're ragging on Sargon, who frankly didn't perform very well there. But if you just go and listen to what Richard Spencer said, he sounds stupid.
Yeah, well, I mean, the whole idea is kind of stupid. I get really confused when it comes to, white supremacist types. Because
I think they have an ideology that's not like fully developed, so they kind of get themselves tripped up and sound dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, this whole concept of an ethno-state, they cheer about it and they want it, but no one has any idea how to actually do it or how it would actually work if they got it. Well, those are kind of important things to figure out.
Or how do you enforce it?
Yeah. It's like they haven't thought past the idea. Well, an idea is just an idea. If you don't have a workable solution, then it's nothing.
A lot of these activists on both sides seem to be real idea people, not a lot of doing people.
Yeah, you know what, the social justice crowd is like that too. They dream of this little utopia where everybody's equal. They have no idea how to get there.
Well, honestly, thinking about it, so this was the horseshoe theory that Sargon was mentioned after the whole Richard Spencer thing ended up happening. It was basically the alt-right and the radical leftists are essentially asking for the same thing, but they're back-to-back looking opposite directions.
Yeah, sort of.
Well, because you imagine they both want exact opposites, but for the same purpose.
Yeah, one of them's asking for a white ethno-state, and the other one's asking for a black ethno-state. They're both just as stupid.
Yeah. Well, it's complicated because I've heard, because I've listened to some of the guys who want the ethno-state, and they're like, they want to do it someplace in Florida. And all I could think of was, no, why would you put an ethno-state in Florida? That's where all of the Hispanics are. And I know this as not necessarily, ragging on anyone. I'm Cuban Puerto Rican myself, but Hialeah is completely Cuban.
Yeah, I mean, don't we have like Cuban refugees flooding into Florida now?
I mean, less now, but yeah, they used to.
Yeah, I mean, we couldn't stop it before. What the hell makes them think they can stop it now?
Well, that actually kind of ties into the whole thing that's happening in Britain right now in the UK with, oh God, what is it? They basically have people from a Commonwealth island that are basically floating in under the cover of night and just escaping into the woods.
Huh.
Oh God, what is it? Oh my God, I had done a video on it like a couple days ago. No, from an island, a Commonwealth island.
Oh! I thought you said from Ireland.
Yeah, they're floating down from Ireland.
Okay, well, that makes more sense then.
Yeah, they couldn't get through that lack thereof border.
Yeah.
No, but the thing is with the whole ethno-state thing, it's just there's no purpose to it. There's no functional purpose to it, except to make some people happy, I guess, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know what their goal is.
Because, if you imagine you made your own country, right?
Yeah.
What means of production do you have if you take a subsection of Florida and you say, this is where all the white people live now?
Well, expand let's just say the whole United States, and you kick out every colored person in the United States, and apparently Native Americans too, and
the
Pacific
irony.
Islanders and whatever. You kick everybody out except who you've decided are white people. Great. Now what? I mean, you just got rid of, what, 40, 50% of the population?
Yeah, and a lot of the workforce.
Yeah, now what?
You fucking turn into an anarchy.
Yeah,
Communist, socialist, one of those. They think they'll be capitalist, but probably not.
I don't get it. I mean, what's the goal? Where is it that you're trying to get to?
Well, honestly, if you extended it across the entire United States, there would be people in other countries who just wouldn't wanna. Iceland is pretty much mostly white. I'm pretty sure. Yes, it is. And why the fuck would they come to an ethno-state in the United States? They have their own country, their own culture, their own shit to deal with. Why the hell would they want to come here?
I don't know. I don't know.
And then the bigger question is, all right, so you've got...
I mean, what did you... I mean, assuming that you got this, what did you actually accomplish? Racial purity? I mean, for what fucking purpose?
Probably not, to be honest. There are some people who go in and they'll do, like, their ancestry tests, and they'll find out that maybe 3 or 4 generations up, especially if they've been in the United States for the whole time, there's some kind of Native American.
Yeah, apparently Africans heavy in the American blood too.
Well, it's the sub-Saharan Africans.
Yeah, I mean, we're all just basically fucking mongrels at this point anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, the early, like, Middle Americans, this is kind of more of a history thing than it is a political thing, but early Mesoamericans that lived in primarily Mexico and Central America eventually moved out to the islands and some of the southern states of the United States. Those people are actually really, really prevalent in most cultures in the southern United States and obviously the islands.
Yeah, and as I recall, most of them, in South America came from the Polynesians.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not like they're even quote-unquote Native American.
Yeah, I mean, from what we think of Native Americans, like, it's really hard to call that one. I think they use the term First Peoples now.
You know what? They keep changing the terminology on me. I can't keep that shit.
Yeah, I can't. But honestly, this whole the racial purity thing for white people, guaranteed, like, they aren't racially pure.
Well, you know what? Even if they were, what problem does that solve?
Oh, none. It's completely a problem that they have created and exaggerated themselves.
Exactly. So even if you get this wonderfully pure ethno-state that you're aiming for, you've solved nothing because there was nothing to solve.
I just looked it up because I remember hearing something about this, and it was a white supremacist finds out he's part African.
Oh. Did he have to start hating himself?
No. Okay. So I'm gonna send the link to you because this is pretty good, and I'll pull up a screen share. Because this is entertaining as shit.
This is what it looks like when your whole world falls apart.
Kind of sucks that way, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oops. Well, wait a minute. They said this is what it looks like, and then it's not a video. It's just a freaking picture.
Yeah.
Dicks.
All right. So this is the guy, first of all. And so, okay, so this is what it looks like when your whole life falls apart on live television. Mouthy white supremacist Craig Cobb was left in denial when a DNA test for the Trisha show, I very much trust this source, found out he was of sub-Saharan heritage. 14% African. That's actually, like, significant, too.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Like, even if you're gonna go with, like, what was it? It's, like, 29 deviations. Every person is the same. Like, even 14% is quite a bit. Cobb recently tried to turn Leith, North Dakota into a whites-only village. But the revelation may mean he's not welcome anymore.
Well, how exactly did he do that?
What, he tried to turn it into a whites-only village?
Yeah, I mean, was he the mayor or something? I mean, who is this fucking guy?
Don't know. But if it succeeded, he's not welcome anymore. Unfortunately, Cobb denied the science of this test. This is called statistical noise. I don't think you know.
Of course it is.
Well, it's like I don't think you actually know what statistical noise is. I think he means outliers, and 14% is not an outlier. That's a pretty significant number.
Yeah, when you're talking, mixed races, 14% it's nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, absolutely not. I mean, I don't know what kind of DNA test they used, because I know some of them are a little skewed because, based on their
Well, this brings up an interesting question that I remember Sargon was trying to get at, but Richard Spencer never really answered it. At what point are you not white? So, assuming you get your little ethno-state, at what point do you start kicking people out for not being white?
So, this is a question that I have to contend with quite a bit because I am Cuban Puerto Rican. Being as pale as I am, I don't look it. So trying to tell somebody that I am Cuban Puerto Rican, the kind of racism that I have to deal with is somebody telling me, "No, you're not."
No, you're not. Yeah, and that was the point that Sargon was trying to get at, and either he didn't articulate it very well, and Spencer just didn't understand what he was getting at, or Spencer just tried to ignore the thing altogether. I don't remember which now. That was a while ago, but he never really answered it. It was just, you can look at them. Well, no, you can't. I mean, take this guy here. Is he white enough? Does he count? I don't know.
Yeah, honestly.
What's your cutoff?
Yeah, I don't think there is a pretty good cutoff because I feel like the way they look at it, it's essentially, do you appear pasty?
Well, Spencer was trying to basically argue from a cultural standpoint, certain ideals and things.
Oh, well, even still, culturally is even worse.
Well, I mean, the problem there is not all white people agree to those things either. So
exactly.
I mean, do you kick out the white people who don't like that shit or what?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you've got, obviously, you have white Puerto Ricans, you have white Cubans. They don't have the same culture and tradition as Irish or English.
Well, even the white people. You got English, who are white people. They don't have the same culture as the fucking French.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, we can't do cultural thing. That doesn't work.
And see, that gets even into more dangerous territory when you want to start... Because obviously race is kind of a non-issue, really, like when you think about it. If anything, you want to criticize people for being different, then view culture differently. Because honestly, cultures do vary, and their values do actually change. Not race-based, but obviously the country that you come from will have different traditions than maybe the place that you move to.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the best way I can do it, because of personal knowledge, I can tell you that Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, and Cubans all have vastly different cultures.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
And they all hate each other.
I mean, even in America, you've got different cultures. The Southern culture is not the same as the Northern culture.
Oh, without a doubt.
the California surfer dudes are nothing like the New York guys.
Oh no, of course not. And obviously, if the California surfer dude ever tried to go say hello to a New Yorker on the street, you'd probably get a "fuck you."
Yeah. Whereas if both of you go down to, I don't know, Georgia or something, and everybody's saying howdy.
Yeah, honestly, it's not the cowboy capital of the world, but that one, and I love going into cafes and the lady behind the counter every time, white, black, always calls me hun or honey.
Or sugar.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
It just makes me feel at home.
Yeah. We've got a woman at the McDonald's drive-thru here that does that. She must be from down south.
Oh, it's just so pleasant. Well, because I used to live up in Jersey, so I was maybe 45 minutes away from New York if I took a drive, or I could take the train in town directly into. Oh God, what was it?
Yeah, it's not even a location thing. It's state to state.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I grew up in Indiana, and people from Indiana do not very much like people from Kentucky, and fuck, they're right next door.
Well, actually, now that I think about it, it's even more nuanced because, Manhattan New Yorkers aren't necessarily the same as Albany, New York.
Yeah. So even geographically, it gets smaller and smaller and smaller.
Yeah. So honestly, if you want to play the culture game, you're gonna lose that one too.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that was what Sargon was trying to get at, was some cold hard cutoffs. Where what's the line, and Spencer wasn't answering it, so I don't know what they think.
Honestly, there is none, and that's why I give white supremacists like absolutely zero consideration when it comes down to it, because honestly, they have no grounds to stand on except for the fact that you look different than me, therefore I don't want you. And that's it.
Yeah. See, and that's that's retarded.
Yeah, it is, especially because I personally don't know their opinions on gingers, but they're the whitest.
Yeah,
the palest kids.
But they have no soul.
My sister's actually a ginger, which is really funny. She looks nothing like anybody else in the family, actually, except for my mom. My mom's not a ginger, but she used to have like that strawberry blonde hair when she was younger, and obviously as she got older, it turned more brunette. But she's like a fire redhead, and we give her shit all the time for it, and it's fantastic. Oh God, there is no saving that. It's fantastic.
Yeah, my sister was different. She's the only blonde. The rest of us are brunettes.
Yeah. But no, I mean, you'll lose every time when you try to play the difference game, because honestly, the only thing good about intersectionalism is that you can break down everyone into their own special group. You have no commonality at that point, so you can't make an ethno-state on either side.
Yeah, which is that's the problem I have with these intersectional douchebags, is because they're consistently breaking people down into smaller and smaller groups, trying to claw their way to the top of the oppression pyramid. But by the time you get there, you're just talking about one person.
Yeah, and honestly, like, there's supposed to be... I honestly don't know the whole goal of intersectionalism, because...
I don't think they do either.
At first glance, I always thought intersectionalism was trying to equate different tiers of, oppression and privilege, right? And that part made sense, except as they started to break people down into smaller and smaller groups, I realized that they don't even make a pyramid where one person's at the top, the most oppressed. They make several different pillars, kind of like a Stonehenge looking like thing, where you have a bunch of different people at the same height in completely different areas.
Yeah.
And at that point, what have you gained except isolate every little aspect about somebody and then force them to live with it by themselves?
Yeah, well, their rules aren't very fucking hard and fast either, because, take women are oppressed by men. Well, okay. If we assume that this is the rule, then black men are in the same position as white men, but blacks are oppressed by whites, so they can't be.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
So
well,
which one's higher on the pyramid, a white woman or a black guy?
I think they would argue that the white woman would be higher on the pyramid.
Yeah, I mean,
Because males.
it's completely arbitrary. That's my point.
Oh, absolutely. Because I mean, you ask, a black woman, you know, where do you find your white women on the spectrum? And they'll say, oh, they're very privileged.
Yeah. But men are
And
privileged.
and the white woman wouldn't say that they're privileged at all.
No, huh? Everybody's in a race to the bottom to claim I'm not privileged. It's everybody else.
Which doesn't make sense because basically with all the recent like kind of revelations that a lot of the fine folks on YouTube have been making is that essentially as you race to the bottom, you basically strip yourself of all responsibility and accountability.
Yeah, and you know what? That might be the point.
Well, I don't know how much of that I can take, but I think we can call it here. I had a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know about you, but I am definitely terrified of those 24 white supremacists.
Oh, I know they're gonna come after us, man. After what we said about them,
that is a big boogeyman. We absolutely have to.
Oh yeah, well, we'll have to run and hide until they find us and then go hide again. But if you guys are watching the stream after it's done, make sure you go on over to Dibbula's channel, check out his Monday morning videos. He does much more consistent videos than I do, and he's very entertaining when I don't catch him unscripted.
Yeah. I'm not so good talking off the cuff. I need a script.
That's all right. I feel like the more you get used to it, the easier it gets. But you have anything else to say before we sign off?
No, that's good.
All right, guys. I'll catch you later.